All right, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network as we are in for a great Friday Night Lights matchup between the Cocoa Beach Minutemen and the Viera Hawks. Now, this is a non-district matchup, but has plenty of playoff applications in this game. For the Viera Hawks, they're going to come in at 3-2, and for the Cocoa Beach Minutemen, they will come in at 2-4. Teams that desperately need wins to stay in this playoff race. One loss could end it all for each team. Tonight, I am here with my broadcasting partner, Brian Kelly. Brian, good to see you. We haven't worked together since week one. Glad to be back. And what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, great to be back with you tonight. But I think what's going to happen, we really have to watch for specifically the Viera Hawk offense. I worked their game at Astronaut a couple weeks ago, early September, and they were just running the ball all over Astronaut and en route to a 40-14 victory. So if you're the Minutemen, you have to focus on stacking the box because it really opened up their deep shot offense too. Everything was clicking for Viera, and that just shows they can become a dangerous team when the run game is effective. You have to shut that down early if you're Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun matchup. We're going to see a lot of fireworks, a lot of ground and pound from each squad or from the Viera Hawks. And when you look at the Minutemen, they're gonna air that ball out. They're gonna air that sucker out. They're gonna let Remy Veen, as I have here pronunciation on the roster from Cocoa Beach, Remy Veen. So excuse me if I mispronounce that. You know that's a kid that can really sling it. One of the passing leaders here in Brevard County. 14 passing touchdowns so far this season compared to 6 interceptions. Able to control the ball as well as sling it.
Absolutely, and you're going to see a classic style matchup here between Eric Nelson and Remy Veen. See who kind of comes out on top. Nelson a bit more of a dual threat option. Veen, obviously, like you said, wants to air that sucker out. We'll see which style comes out in the end. But again, regardless, we're in for a good one here tonight.
All right, as we get set for action, looks like the Minutemen will kick it away to the Hawks to start this ball game. Good. To kick it away for the Cocoa Beach Minutemen. Got a little carried away there. It's going to be number 99, Frank Venzera. As we have a pretty nice crowd for the Minutemen so far, and the Hawks definitely showed up on their opposing sideline as well.
Yeah, Viera, something I've noticed, travels very well.
Kick is away, little squib kick. It's going to be touched, almost out of bounds, able to recover it. Looking for space on the return. Fits a gap in the middle, brought down at about his own 32-yard line on the return that time. Number 4, Jonah Woodruff. Coming out for the Viera Hawks, number 5, Eric Nelson. Nelson has been so much of a dual threat quarterback this season, providing offensive yards through the ground and through the air as well. Nelson hands it off. First play is going to be a run. It's going to be a good run. Good gain of about 8 yards. Actually, it's going to be 11 yards. It's going to give him a first down. So what a way to start the game for the Viera Hawks.
And the bruising running backs is kind of what we saw when Varsity Sports Nation was out at Astronaut. We saw them get chunk plays, all on the ground the first drive. Viera off to a great start here. We'll see if they can kind of replicate that success.
Nelson takes the snap, going to fire it out. That's Woodruff. Woodruff falls forward. He's going to get about 5 yards on a broken play.
And And that's what makes Viera's offense so dangerous. Even on a broken play, they still get 5. Make it second and medium here. Opens up a lot of the offense.
Yeah, and if Woodruff stayed on his feet there, he could have gone a lot farther.
Absolutely.
So a 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion, and the backfield is Schmadeke. Nelson, little play action. Now he's going to roll right. Let's see if he keeps it himself. He is directing traffic, able to get some wide receivers to block for him. Good rush into Minuteman territory at about their 36-yard line.
And that's just Nelson being a pure athlete. Didn't like what he saw in the past game. Hey, let me run for 15-ish yards, get the first down, set my team up in Minuteman territory.
Minuteman, such a funny mascot name. We'll get into that later when we have a little dead spot in the action, why they're called the Minutemen. 1st and 10, and the Hawks proved to be the explosive offense that they were scouted to be. Nelson takes the snap. He's going to hand it off. That's Woodruff. Looked like a little reverse. Woodruff cuts back inside. Another first down for the Viera Hawks.
And you got to give credit to the offensive line of the Hawks. They're allowing these gaping holes for the running backs and the receivers to go through, not holding, not committing any penalties, allowing them to get these huge chunk plays marched down the field at will.
And that offensive line, like you said, just kind of pushing them around. Not even really fair out there. Nelson takes the snap, is going to hand it off up the middle. And again, a huge gap. And it takes 3 Minutemen to take down the back that time, not after he gets 9 yards on the carry. And that is their leading rusher this season, Duke Butler. Butler so far on the season, 74 carries, 492 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Averaging 6.6 yards per carry. Pretty impressive number for the senior.
Averaging a first down every other carry. He's going to look pretty good on a stat sheet.
Second and 1. Nelson's going to pull it. He's going to take it himself, throw off those legs, and he trucks the defender. Does he cross the goal line? Yes, he does. Eric Nelson showing a little bit of finesse and finishes it off with the power. Great run from Nelson, and the Hawks take an early lead to start this ball game.
And what an absolute masterclass of a drive, orchestrated by none other than Eric Nelson. Just really a balance between that running and passing an option. And he takes it himself, not afraid to take a big hit, as Viera has the lead here.
The extra point is up and through the uprights. Number 31, Dominic Maxwell, kicks it through, and the Hawks take an early 7-0 lead to start this ball game. About 9 minutes left in the quarter. See if the Minutemen can answer back, and they're going to be led out onto the field by their quarterback, Remy Vignier. Vignier, like we talked about him in, a little bit before kickoff, 14 passing touchdowns this season for Vignier compared to just 6 interceptions. So not afraid to air it out is Vignier. The junior quarterback on the season has accumulated over 1,200 yards through the air through 6 games for the Minuteman. That one's going to be muffed on the return. And the Hawks are swarming, brought down at his own 15. Looked like it was number 0, Caden Ford. Ford, a leading receiver for this Cocoa Beach offense, 382 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, this team is led by a trio of seniors. You got Vignier at quarterback, Ryan Rogers, and Caden Ford, all 3 key factors for this offense to succeed.
Exactly, and some of that veteran leadership showing this year for Coco. We'll see if it shows tonight against this Viera Hawk defense.
1st and 10 at their own 15. Quick screen pass, has the blocks. He's going to be shoved out of bounds, but not before he gets about 7 yards. On the reception that time was Arturo Stanley. Second and 3 now for Cocoa Beach. High snap back to him, but through the hands of Stanley. Not able to hang on. And that's just how fast a bad snap can affect the play right there.
Absolutely, because that one was probably going to go for the first down. Now instead you're looking at 3rd and 3. Potential for a punt here, but I like how Cocoa Beach is kind of being aggressive. We kind of see the conflicting, I know it's the first drive, but conflicting styles here with Viera more run heavy, Cocoa Beach way more pass heavy.
Yeah, great point. 3rd and 3 now. Vignay takes the snap. He's going to look downfield. He fires a strike, but it's intercepted. What a catch by the Viera Hawk defender. Number 6, Blake Thomas, the senior middle linebacker, goes full extension on the interception and hauls it in, and Viera takes over with great field position.
And I feel like every time I cover a Viera game, they always have some sort of insane interception, insane turnover. That's another great play by the Hawks defense. Sets them up beautifully in Minuteman territory. But hey, give credit to that Viera defense again, giving their offense plenty of room to work with. Try to extend this to a 2-score lead already.
Yeah, that was just an amazing interception. And Vignay didn't even look at a different receiver, kind of staring down that route the whole time. Gave the defender a chance to track that ball down. As Nelson comes back out into the field. He's going to try to slip away, but he cannot. It's going to be a loss of 2 yards. Good play that time by the defensive tackle.
And yeah, give credit to Cocoa Beach on that one. That was their first negative play for Viera all game. Got to build on that, build on some momentum after a first drive that was all Hawks.
And that was Mikey Butler on the tackle for loss for the Cocoa Beach Minutemen. Second and 13 after the loss of 3 from Nelson. This time they give him the option. They're going to hand it off to Woodruff. Woodruff is pushed out of bounds, not before he gets about 5 yards.
And now the ability to bounce off of that first tackle to go from another loss to maybe to this time a 5 or 6 yard gain. Now sets up Viera with 3rd and manageable as opposed to 3rd and long.
3rd and 5 now. Looks like he got 8 on that carry, not 5. I shorted him a little bit. And I noticed that Cocoa Beach's band isn't. I don't know if they have a band or I haven't heard them. I know I've heard Viera's band.
Yeah, they always travel well with their cheerleaders, their band. Everyone makes the trip.
3rd and 5. Nelson. He's going to hand it off, and it was a late handoff. And once again, Mikey Butler just fighting for that tackle for loss, and he's going to get another one. And that's going to be a big loss of about 6 yards. Looked like it was Butler on the carry.
And obviously Butler had his fingerprints all over that drive, making a statement. And with how windy it is tonight, I don't know. I think they kind of might have knocked him out of field goal range, but we'll see how Viera responds to this.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough field goal. And they're going to leave the offense out there, and that just shows pure trust from Coach Gola and his defense.
I don't really blame him. You know, worst case scenario, Minutemen still have to go about 60 or 70 yards.
So on 4th and 12, Nelson has to air it out. He's going to roll right. He has pressure, and he's going to be well short of the first down marker, and not really a real chance. And the Minuteman defense stands tall, and they'll give their offense another chance down 1 score.
And yeah, again, give credit to Cocoa Beach. You know, starting that drive, backed up inside your own 30, not looking good. Obviously, looking like Viera's going to cash in again with how they played. But give credit to that defense, holding the line and allowing 0 on that one. Now gives their offense a chance to respond.
And at this break, I like to thank one of our sponsors here this evening. Back and Spine, Total Spine and Orthopedics helps people get back on their feet faster. And with less pain, their minimally invasive treatments mean smaller incisions, quicker recovery, and better results than traditional surgery. Don't wait, call 321-499-4646 or visit TotalSpineOrtho.com today. One of our great sponsors this evening. We have two others, and we'll get to them as the game progresses. So Vignay back out on the field is going to take a handoff. Gains about 3 yards. That was Rogers on the carry. Second and 7. Cocoa Beach trying to bounce back from that interception. Their defense able to give them the ball right back. Another handoff and just absolutely nowhere to go. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. I didn't catch a number there. That looked like the DN coming in next play.
And that Viera defensive line, even on that first run, still gave up a few yards, but they weren't giving them these beautiful holes to run through, making Cocoa Beach earn every single yard, and now we got a 3rd and long here.
Looked like that was the senior Sal Orlando. Such a threat on the defensive side is Orlando. Vignay's going to roll right, directing traffic, and he's caught in bounds. What a veteran play there by Vignay, and great communication with his receiver, Arturo Stanley. We've already seen that connection once.
And absolutely, like you said, emphasis on veteran play. Maybe a younger freshman or sophomore doesn't make that throw, but the upperclassman, Vignay, making a huge time pass and giving the Cocoa Beach offense their first down in the game.
Yeah, and he just looks confident out there, even after throwing the interception. What a way to bounce back, and just the way he's directing traffic out there. We saw Nelson do it on the previous drive, kind of getting blockers in front of him, but Vignay does it for himself there.
And that's all you can ask for as a coach. Confidence after a turnover, just put it behind you, next play, next man up.
As now they're going to finally move the sticks. I was wondering if they were going to mark them short, but now they decide to move those sticks. As that one is a handoff up the middle, and again, nowhere to go. That front 7 stands tall, and that is a highlight of this Viera's defense. That front 7 is pretty dangerous.
And yeah, they're kind of going to have to dare you to pass, but luckily that's something Cocoa Beach is proficient at. That's kind of what they're more geared towards, but still, you want to establish a ground game regardless. It opens up the pass game a bit more, but good on Viera for holding firm, at least here in this first frame.
2nd and 10 after the run goes nowhere. Vignay deep drop back again. Once again, takes a step back and just overthrows his receiver. Now, on that play, if the receiver kept running, he was gone, maybe up to the 30, 20-yard line.
Absolutely, and it bodes well, even though it's a misplay, even though it's an incompletion. It bodes well that they've been able to have a couple passes where they've gotten behind the defense. If they're able to connect on that, could see an efficient offensive game plan tonight from Cocoa Beach.
And the intended receiver that time was Kajay Robinson. There's pressure up the middle. That's Orlando getting pressure, throws it away, and it's caught. Looked like he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but ended up being caught. But that pressure from Orlando and others up the middle got to Vignay.
Yeah, that Viera blitz came in quick and hit like a bullet train, stalling this Cocoa Beach offensive drive. Again, give credit to that Viera defense. They've been all over this one tonight.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he got 6 yards out of that. I mean, now it's a 4th and 4. Now they're going to go for it, about their own 44-yard line, so why not? And they get Viera to jump off sides, and we were talking about how proficient that front 7 is, and they shoot themselves in the foot and give the Minutemen a free first down.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Just as I was giving them praise, obviously, it is one mistake. It's a big mistake, though, but Yeah, you can't do that if you're Viera, especially now that this gives Cocoa Beach new life marching down the field.
And with how explosive this offense is, they can score in one play. So you don't want to give them more life.
Absolutely not, especially after you worked so hard to get them into that 4th and medium situation.
Viera in the gun. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself on the option. Maybe gets about 2 yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 8. One of the leading tacklers for this Hawks defense, number 9, James Olson. They haven't quite crossed into enemy territory, right at that 50-yard line. A little jet sweep. That's Stanley. Stanley able to get north. And he gets about 3 yards, makes it again another 3rd and manageable for Cocoa Beach.
And that's the key element. That's what Viera's defense has been doing so well, getting them into 3rd and mediums as opposed to 3rd and shorts. That's kind of setting them up to make it obvious passing down situations, and Viera's excelled at that so far.
Third and 7, only got about 2 there. Viera takes the snap. He's going to throw a deep ball down the sideline. It's caught! What a catch and throw! On the reception, Caden Ford, the junior to junior connection, hits for the long ball as he works inside Viera's 10-yard line. And you see that DB kind of chopping it up with the ref there, maybe wanting offensive pass interference with a push-off. No reviews here.
And we were just saying it about 5 minutes ago. Cocoa Beach was able to get behind the defense, hadn't connected yet, but when it did connect, we knew it was going to be big, and it showed it right there.
And that was about a 45-yard throw with wind in his face, and what a catch by Caden Ford to haul that one in, running full speed, catching it by the fingertips.
Yeah, like you said, that 4th and 4 jumping off sides could prove to be a huge factor here.
As now they're going to run, looks like a little wildcat action, and that's what happens. You run the risk, and he's not able to jump on it. He didn't down it. The ball is loose.
Yeah, that was almost a disaster.
Whew. They're able to jump on it, thank goodness. I mean, looked like he had it and then just left it. Ball wasn't officially downed.
It's not even like he had someone else to jump on it for him. He was the only one around. There were like 4 or 5 Hawks right around him.
So big loss on 1st and goal. Backs them all the way up to their own 15-yard line on 2nd and goal. And we have a whistle before the snap. Hopefully it's not a pre-snap penalty.
Looked like the receiver might have jumped. Maybe it was just me, though.
And it looks like you're going to be right. So another 5-yard loss on a penalty this time. And man, you get such a big play there, and you just go backwards. That really hurts an offense. And not only the offense, it's going to hurt the morale of the whole team.
Absolutely. You hate to not be able to capitalize on such a big play. Granted, there's still a chance to capitalize on it, but it's going to be a lot harder than it once was.
Now basically at their own 20-yard line. Viera now is going to roll right, but not before the pressure gets to him from behind. Good sack. You got to be careful dancing there. The crowd wants a penalty for the dance.
I said let him dance.
That's a risky play.
Dance, dude. I'm not going to lie.
I agree with you, but at the high school level, these refs are not afraid to throw that flag. On the sack that time, looked like it was number 48, Jason Harp, the sophomore defensive end.
And this is kind of showing just how quickly a drive could turn on its head. Cocoa Beach looked like they were knocking on the door, almost certainly going to punch it in. Instead, now they're looking at a third and goal, granted, but a very long goal to go situation here.
And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. And we've had an exciting first quarter. I know it's only 7-0, but exciting at the least. And When we come back, we'll have second quarter action. And the first down play goes backwards, or excuse me, that was the third and goal play. It goes backwards. So now 4th and goal. Funny situation here. Yeah. So 4th and goal, and a funny situation. The Minutemen are forced to punt now.
Kind of in no man's land over
Yeah.
here.
So they had a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line, and they go all the way back to the 32-yard line as that punt barely gets past the 20, and it's going to take a roll back. Wow, what a turn of events. I mean, so quickly it can happen as the Hawks will take over at their own 24-yard line after the Cocoa Beach Minutemen had a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
And yeah, you hate to obviously not capitalize on that touchdown, on a chance for a touchdown there, but especially not even getting a field goal out of that one. That's just a tough one for Cocoa Beach. You could tell the crowd was getting into it. That's just a wasted chance to capitalize on momentum there.
So 1st and 10 here for Nelson and the Hawks as they get another chance to tack onto this lead. Nelson takes a snap, quick pass outside. He's able to get upfield and get about 6 yards on the screen.
I think it's really important to see how this Cocoa Beach defense responds to that. Obviously, that's a gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching to come up with 0 points, especially after that big-time pass. If they can keep themselves in the game, force a Viera punt, Cocoa Beach right back in it. But if they can't fold here, allow Viera to get a 2-score lead, if that makes sense.
2nd and 4. Nelson fakes the handoff, and he throws it. That's Woodruff as he trucks a defender, not before he goes out of bounds. And Viera's a little lucky there that they didn't get an illegal man downfield, and I think that's what Coach is complaining about on the sideline, because those offensive linemen were way downfield, and he did throw it past the line of scrimmage. But it wasn't called, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Hawks.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback who's such a dual threat as Viera does, it makes those type of plays a lot more dangerous to defend, a lot harder to defend. That's why Viera's offense is clicking here tonight.
And the head coach for the Minutemen is head coach Ted Kimmy, as that's a handoff to Butler, and Butler just looks explosive. I mean, he was bouncing all around, then lowering his shoulder. Only gets about 4 yards, but an effective 4 yards.
And it doesn't really matter who Viera's been running tonight, whether it's the quarterback, the running backs, the first string, second string. It doesn't matter. They keep bouncing off of tackles, making the second, third, fourth defender tackle them. That wears down a defense, and eventually that's going to only get worse, more tedious for the Cocoa Beach.
Coach Kimmy acts as the assistant defensive coordinator as well, so really engaged with this defense, and he has a tough task of slowing down this Hawks offense. Nelson takes a snap. That's Schmadeke in the backfield, and he just piles forward. He wasn't even touched until he crossed that first down marker. Brought down, and the Hawks with another fresh set.
Again, you took the words right out of my mouth. He was halfway down halfway to the first. He was 5 yards down the field before a single defender laid hands on him. Again, that's just credit to the offensive line from Viera, just making this run game flow effortlessly tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Cocoa Beach does not have a home win this season, and trying to turn that around. This is, I believe I know it was senior night. They did it a little bit before we started the broadcast, but I didn't see the players out here, so maybe it was just for cheerleaders and band. I'm not quite sure. Nelson's going to launch a deep ball. He's got a man. It's caught, and he's going to roll out the red carpet as he walks into the end zone, and he puts the Hawks up by another 6 points.
And again, that's like we were saying a little bit earlier, the relentless running game, the efficient running game from Viera. Eventually it's going to wear you down. You're going to try to stack the box, and then that opens the passing game for huge plays like that.
And who else but the Hawks' leading receiver, Sean Hartman. His 4th touchdown on the season, his 27th catch through 4.5 games. For the extra point, snap is good. Kick is right through the middle of the uprights as the Hawks go up 14-0 early in the second quarter. After that touchdown, I'd like to give a shout out to some of our sponsors here this evening, one of them being Chrissy Lindbeck, the real estate expert. Looking to buy or sell your home, Chrissy Lindbeck is the real estate expert, a full-time agent, multi-million-dollar producer, and one of Brevard's top 100 residential real estate agents for 2023. With over 20 years of experience in real estate, finance, and insurance, Chrissy has the knowledge and drive to help you reach all of your goals. She listens, creates a plan, and delivers results, often turning clients into lifelong friends. For more information, call Chrissy at 321-591-3615 or visit www.chrissyknows.com because as the real estate expert, she does know. And you'll see her information pop up throughout this ball game. We got a couple of different sponsorships rolling through the bottom. As that kick is going to go, we'll see if it goes out of bounds. I don't know. No, they're going to say it went through the back of the end zone. That was close, right next to that pylon. So Cocoa Beach will get the ball at their own 20-yard line.
And yeah, like we were saying earlier, after that interception, the offense responded with a better drive. Obviously didn't get the points that they wanted, but they're going to have to respond with an even better drive after that one. First 2 drives didn't go the way they want, but now the reality is you're down 2 scores here early in the second quarter. Have to come here with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, they have to answer back. They got to get that big play again, and they cannot shoot themselves in the foot when they get inside the 5-yard line. Viera snap a little bit high to the right, gets it out. That's Stanley, and Stanley's going to get a good game before he's pushed out of bounds. And they're going to give him a first down, so great way to start this third drive of the ball game for Viera.
Absolutely. Some of these chunk plays are going to be what Cocoa Beach needs to get themselves back into this one. Again, Viera has had a ton of chunk plays tonight. They've had almost like 10. So Cocoa Beach is going to need to match that energy and then some.
Yeah, and they really got to work on that protection, especially on those inside guards and centers as the run goes up the middle. Able to get about 3 yards on the carry. Ryan Rogers. And it's a tough task for that Cocoa Beach offensive line, but it needs to be done if they want to find success. They're not just being able to throw their way out of this hole down 14-0 already. They have to add some diversity to their offense if they want to be successful.
Absolutely, and it's kind of been the difference maker. The offensive versus defensive lines of Viera have been really what's been winning them this game so far.
Snap is taken as he scampers close to a first down. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1.
Obviously goes without saying, you got to have this if you're Cocoa Beach.
Definitely, I think I don't want to get too desperate saying it's 4-down territory already, but when you're at your own 40-yard line and it's going to be a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, I would definitely say it's all go.
Especially with the way Viera's offense has been orchestrating themselves so far. Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you on that one.
3rd and 1. Pressure coming from the middle. He's going to hand it off, and there's going to be a penalty. It looks like he didn't get the first down anyways. But when it's blown dead like that, it's probably going to be a false start.
Yeah, that would be another brutal penalty for Cocoa Beach. It's already hard enough to go up against an elite defense such as Viera, but when you're shooting yourselves in your own, when you're playing yourselves and Viera's defense, there's no way for you to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just a sideline warning. I believe it was a sideline warning against Viera, so I'm surprised they blew the play dead there. I'm not quite sure the ruling on that, but they did. So they're going to get another chance here on 3rd and 1. We'll see if they go back to the run. I imagine Viera's going to bring that heat up the middle. Olsen looks like he's charging to go, and they read the snap count pretty perfect. They're going to take a deep shot. One-on-one, one hand, hauls it in. What a catch from Caden Ford. Once again, showing him off.
And yeah, those passes have been there for most of the night for Cocoa Beach, and now they're starting to click on them. Now they're starting to connect on them. See if they can capitalize on the momentum this time around.
What a grab from Caden Ford, and what guts it takes on 3rd and 1 to throw that deep ball, one-on-one coverage, trust in your guy.
100%, because like you said, they're down 2 scores. You kind of have to have that one to take such a risk, but it paid off dividends there.
So fresh set for Vignay. Vignay takes a step, steps up in the pocket, pressure all over the place, able to maybe manage to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by Vignay, not losing any yardage, but even on a 4-man rush, they cannot contain the Hawks' defensive line. See if they just, if they're running man coverage out there, I would throw it to Ford every play. I mean, that guy has incredible hands. Not only the hands, but able to get separation on the defender as well.
Absolutely. As they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Might as well continue to go for what's been going for you. Try to get some points here before the half.
And it looks like they're going to get a false start or defensive offsides, depending on what they decide to call. All right, at this water break, I'd like to get your attention and bring your thoughts and prayers to my good buddy Caleb Brown. A crucial part of Brevard Sports Network is Caleb Brown. He unfortunately suffered some serious injuries, has to go through a couple surgeries, and it's a long road back to recovery for Caleb Brown. And we just hope him the best. And that GoFundMe, that QR code was the GoFundMe for Caleb Brown up on your screen. So if you want to help him out, that's a good way to do it. If not, just send your thoughts and prayers towards Caleb. I know he's watching, and we're with you, buddy, and we hope you get back to full strength soon. As the ball is loose, and they're going to say maybe it was a pass? No, they're going to give it to Viera. So they fumbled the jet sweep handoff. Maybe I thought he tossed it forward, and they were going to roll it a drop pass, but I guess not. So once again, turnovers haunt the Cocoa Beach offense.
Devastating. I'd say Cocoa Beach has been their own worst enemy tonight. 2 turnovers. and then you had the sack slash penalty slash
Yep.
whatever that was down in the goal line. The reality of the situation is you had 2 good drives in Viera territory come up with 0 points, and that's been the difference maker. That's why it's 14-0 as opposed to 14.
Yeah, it's just brutal. So brutal when you're playing a team like the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks are 3-2, but they've had some impressive wins. They've definitely had some impressive wins this season. You know, they beat Rockledge week number 1, 22-21. So this team is an easy playoff contender, and Cocoa Beach is not helping themselves out as the run up the middle gets a good chunk, about 8 yards.
Exactly. And when you're playing a contender, you got to bring your A game because you can't make mistakes because they will make you make mistakes. It only gets worse when you shoot yourself in the foot, commit turnovers, commit penalties, stuff that takes you out of the game early.
Yeah, and Viera coming off a bye week, you know, they get healthy, they get their mind right. They're coming off a win the week before against Topaliga, excuse me if I mispronounced that, 44-22. So they head into their bye week with a great win, and they're getting, you know, they're getting a lot of help right now, and they don't need it. Nelson on the little play action. That time it's all over by Butler, and he's going to rush, but there is a flag right at that line of scrimmage, most likely going to be a holding penalty on the Hawks.
But either way, I still don't think obviously it's the second quarter, so I'll hope it's not lost even in the slightest. There's still plenty of game left. But that being said, if Cocoa Beach is able to get off the field here with, say, about 2 or 3 minutes left, they do get the ball to start the second half. They can do a little double dip here, maybe get this to within a one-score game or even a tie game.
That's a great point because they do receive the second half kickoff for 18 remaining here in the first half, and that penalty is definitely going to help them out. Brings up a 2nd and 13. Defense just needs to keep them away from that first down marker and try to let their offense. And their offense, it's there. Like, the explosive plays are there. If they just keep going back to it, Viera's going to keep bringing pressure, and they're going to keep leaving their corners on islands out there. Whistles blow timeout. Minutemen, they didn't like the look on defense, so they burn a timeout, and that could be pretty crucial. I mean, going down the stretch here with 3:49 to go.
Absolutely, especially if you get the ball back with trying to run a 2-minute drill. You want as many timeouts as you can get. Hopefully this pays off for them and they are able to get off the field. But, again, risky move like you said.
And like to thank everybody joining us here this evening. Great Friday Night Lights matchup. The other game going on, we got Holy Trinity. I think this is their first game on the Brevard Sports Network. Everybody else is out of town or on a bye week. So either this is the game we got. Hopefully Holy Trinity is keeping it close. I know they got a tough one. I believe they're playing Freeman Douglas, and Freeman Douglas is pretty legit. So always rooting for the Brevard County teams to do well. Second and 13, Cocoa Beach fixes their defense. Coach Kimmy making sure he has the right matchups out there on the field. And I'd keep an eye on Nelson with his legs here, whether it's off a pass or just a designed quarterback run. And they're going to go for a pass, and it's right there. Did he catch that ball? Did he get under it? And they're going to give him a catch there. If he led that ball out, he could have ran for a first down and a lot more. And that was a great play. The running back just sneaks out of the field. That was Woodruff.
Yeah, I mean, Cocoa Beach caught a break that the ball was underthrown because Woodruff, they completely forgot about him. He had room to run, too, and he was looking to go not the distance, but you know what I'm trying to say, a few more extra yards.
Yeah.
But instead, now we got a little bit of a third down here.
3rd and 5 after the good gain, and they're going to hand it off the gut. That's Schmadeke, and Schmadeke lowers his head and piles forward. First down for the Hawks, and they keep this drive chugging along.
Schmadeke is running like a man on a mission. Again, he's getting 4 or 5 yards before he's even getting touched. That's just making it hard for Cocoa Beach to stop him. You're getting a first down every other play handed to Schmadeke.
First and 10. Nelson hands up the middle and maybe gets about 2 or 3 yards on the carry.
And Viera's rushing defense or rushing offense is lethal for 2 reasons. One, wears down the defense, but also opens up that deep ball pass that we've seen tonight.
Now they're going to that kind of wing tee, and Nelson just slips away. It looked like they had the running back in the backfield, but Nelson able to pull it away. And what, just like a veteran savvy out there, able to read that defense and quickly pull it away and fall forward for about 7 yards.
And yeah, like you said, veteran. He's a veteran presence, knows how to read the defense better, and that's kind of why he's been orchestrating this offense so well. That's why they've been having a great year, is because of the veteran leadership from Nelson.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. 3rd and 2 coming up for the Hawks, and looks like they're going to go back to the gun instead of under center here. Schmadicke's going to be the back lined up behind Nelson. They're going to motion Woodruff. Takes the snap. Excuse me, that's Butler, and Butler strikes up the middle, carrying a defender on his back. Brought down inside the 15-yard line as they enter the Dean Stewart Photography Red Zone. First and 10 after the quick strike by Butler. That first down marker right about the 5-yard line, looks like. Nelson looks to throw. He has plenty of time. Now he's going to roll right, throw to the corner of the end zone and out of reach. Not able to haul it in. The intended receiver that time looked to be Sean Hartman.
If you're Cocoa Beach, you can't allow a touchdown here. Obviously, any score gets Viera to within a 3-possession cushion, but it would be a big win if they're able to get out of here 17-0 or even 14-0 as opposed to 21-0.
Yeah, I would look out 56 seconds. Still, the run is a leading option. Watch out for Nelson on the. Looks like they're going to run a triple option here. Decides to hand it off to Butler, and Butler lowers his shoulder. Does he get to the goal line? We'll see. And they're going to mark him a little bit short, but not before he picks up a first down and a 1st and goal with 45 seconds and ticking for the Viera Hawks. I believe they do have 3 timeouts, so they're deciding to save them. They just want to keep the pressure on, and maybe Nelson goes with a quarterback sneak here, about 2 yards out. Looks like he handed it off, and they're going to be stopped short. Good stand up by that defensive line.
That's the type of luxury Viera has, knocking on the door of the goal line here with 25 seconds left. Now you control the clock. You can kill it all here with 3 timeouts. Realistically, you're going to get multiple chances at the end zone here.
And the Hawks burn their first time out of the half. .25 seconds remain. They get the whistle to come back onto the field. They're about 3 yards out from that goal line. We'll see if Nelson's probably going to go under center here. Now he's going to go in the gun with running backs to his right. That's Schmadicke. Going to motion Woodruff, and we get a flag. We'll see if it's going to be a false start. Looked like that left tackle moved, and he did. So that'll push him back 5 yards. Now it's going to bring him back to the 8-yard line. So a little tougher here on 2nd and goal.
And for Cocoa Beach, you'll take the breaks where they can come. If this is what it takes to get them to score a field goal instead of a touchdown, hey, you'll take whatever you can get.
And a big red zone target for the Hawks is Sean Hartman, leads the team in receiving touchdowns. Hartman's going to be lined up in the slot, and the whistle blows, and now Cocoa Beach takes a timeout. So we're going back and forth, little coaching mind games here, get each other off balance.
Speaking of coaching, I feel like it's got to be more frustrating for a defensive coordinator or coach to have a team relentlessly running the ball down your throat as opposed to passing.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to get chunk plays in the passing game, but with Viera just daring you, you know what they're going to do almost every single time. They're daring you to stop it, and so far they have no answer.
Yeah, and they're just so versatile with who they can run the ball with. They can go to that triple option. They can motion Woodruff out as the pitch option or hand it off the middle with Butler. Or Eric Nelson can just take it himself and run for 20 yards.
Exactly, and the dual threat quarterback, the last part you mentioned, was probably the most dangerous of them all. It really makes them hard to guard and hard to defend.
Still 25 seconds to go, second and goal. Now 2 backs, and they're going to go in that kind of triple option formation with Butler and Woodruff as the backs. Nelson fakes the pitch, and it's going to be a little end around to Sean Hartman. Does he get a block? He gets a great block, cuts inside, touchdown, Hawks.
Hey, they even had me fooled on that one. I had the camera going one way and the receiver going the other.
I mean, we just called out that triple option, and then they just pull something out of a rabbit out of the hat with a trick play there to Sean Hartman. Little end around, scores the touchdown, and it's not succeeded without those blocks on the outside. I didn't get a number who made that crucial block, but it was a crucial block.
Yep, and it's been we say it most broadcasts, the offensive line is really doing the dirty work, not getting as much of the credit, but again, we're tipping our caps to them tonight. That's the reason they're up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Hartman with his second touchdown in this first half as the Hawks continue to tack onto this lead. Snap is good. Extra point right through the uprights. 21-0. The Hawks lead with 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. And you mentioned, Brian, that Cocoa Beach does receive the second half kickoff, but they really needed to stop there to try to find some momentum to stay in this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. They needed something. Even though they weren't able to get an offensive score out of that, you needed to keep it close within 2 scores. Realistically, you're looking at 21-0 at the end of the half. The only saving grace here is, again, like you said, they get the ball to start the second half, but a half they'd ideally like to forget.
Yeah. And I imagine Cocoa Beach will probably just run this one out. And Viera probably, they're not going to leave their corners one-on-one, not with this offense, not with the receivers they have.
Absolutely not.
Maxwell set to kick it off. We'll see if they just squib it. And that one's going to be a boot, and it's going to be returnable as they're going to do a little trick play. Almost bobbled. You got to be careful there, but he has space. Does he have the speed is the question. Up down the sideline, now cuts back, keeps on going across the 50, pushed out into Hawks territory. But 2 seconds left on the clock.
Hey, if nothing else, that's a bit of a momentum play going into half. I mean, you still got 2 seconds here. Air it out, try maybe get a Hail Mary, but a nice little trickery from Cocoa Beach.
On the return that time was Gage Stanley. And, that's a play call that is another risky play, especially with 14 seconds. You don't want the Hawks to down it and get a field goal. But obviously something they practiced, something they felt confident in and able to get it across the 50-yard line. And Viera definitely has the arm for this Hail Mary attempt.
Absolutely. I feel we're going to see.
I am a bit surprised here. They're going to run 4 on the line and 2 backers in the box. So, I mean, we could see a blitz here. Viera in the empty.
It's been working for him so far.
They're going to load that box up. They're going to rush 4. Viera throws it over the middle of the field. No one there, and that'll stop the clock. There was only 2 seconds left, so you had 1 pass at it. And Viera felt pressure, throws it away, incomplete pass. As we head to the half, the Hawks lead 21-0 over the Minutemen. And at halftime, absolutely nothing. We'll come back with the second half kickoff. All right, and we are back here live at the home of the Minuteman for the second half, and we had a extended halftime, if you would say. But we had the two bands performing. They had music playing, so couldn't show it on the broadcast. But teams are ready to roll. They were stretching on the outskirts of the end zones before they got back out onto the field, and the Hawks lead 21-0. And Brian, if you are the Minuteman, what is your key to try to battle back in this ball game?
Honestly, it's kind of become my catchphrase every time it's a blowout. My grandpa would always say the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So there's no 21-point play in football.
Yeah.
So you just got to go one play at a time. One stop, one score at a time, and just keep stacking drives.
Yeah, that's a great quote there. I mean, you can only do it one step at a time, and that's completely right. And they start with the football, so hopefully they can start on the right foot here. And if they cannot, this game could get out of hand early in the second half.
Yeah, with how much I use that phrase, I might have to get that put on a T-shirt.
You got to what are they? Copyright it? Is that
Something
what you do?
Yeah, copyright it. Trademark. Yeah.
Trademark. That's what it is. And this kick is spiraling out of bounds, so the Minutemen will take over, I believe, at their own 35.
Hey, that's a good start, though. Yeah, you got to capitalize on this, though.
2 turnovers in the game from the Minutemen. They had the interception to start this ball game, and an electric interception by oh my gosh, I forgot the number. Blake Thomas, number 6. I knew I remembered. Blake Thomas on the interception, the middle linebacker. And then they had the muffed. They got the deep ball into the goal line, about 6 yards out from the goal line. And then they went nothing but backwards with a wildcat formation, fumbled snap, a sack, a penalty, and another tackle for loss. And they ended up punting.
They had that fumble on the final drive, so obviously it's all up to speculation, but we could be looking at a closer game here if they got out of their own way.
And that's Veen, had word from and did he lose that football? I think they blew it dead. They definitely blew the play dead before that ball was ripped away, and that's Sal Orlando running down the sideline, and there's a flag. So that's a tough flag. I mean, I know he was blowing his whistle pretty loudly, but they are going to get him with an unsportsmanlike, and that's going to be a 15-yarder.
I don't know about that one because, like you said earlier, the high school level, they're cracked down on that a little more than the NFL. But in the NFL, you see people run out the play just to be safe. I don't really know if I would go with that one. Not going to lie, I feel like you're kind of punishing the defensive player.
I don't agree with that either. I think it was nothing. I mean, he put his arms up, but who wouldn't if they're running into the end zone?
100%.
And for that to be – oh, so they're going to mark it a delay game. Okay, so that's a little bit better. So they're going to say it took them long to get the ball back in. They're going to give them a 5-yarder instead of a 15-yarder. So they kind of managed in the middle there. That's Veen takes the snap. And once again, that defensive line is all over Veen in the backfield, sacked by a couple of Hawks defenders.
And we've made it an emphasis tonight on this broadcast, but we'll say it again. The offensive line, the battle in the trenches, if you will, between both these teams has really been what's been the difference maker. The offensive line of Viera opening up the holes for the running game, and on the flip side, shutting down the passing and rushing attack of Cocoa Beach.
On the sack that time was Jason Harp and Brian Veal. Harp already with his second sack, and Veal leads this team in sacks and quarterback pressures. Veen takes the snap. Again, pressure on the middle. Off his back foot, throws a strike, and it's caught in bounds. That's going to be a first down. So Veen on the run once again makes it a spectacular play, finding his receiver on the sideline. On the reception that time was number 7, Tristan Sejek.
And the Cocoa Beach experience tonight on offense has been quite the roller coaster. You'll either get a penalty shooting yourself in the foot or some crazy catch like that, a sack. They're like a box of chocolates tonight. You don't know what you're going to get, but they've been able to move this ball pretty efficiently. They've just been getting in their own way sometimes.
Shout out Forrest Gump. Veen takes the snap, looks to throw, and it's a little screen pass, and it's dropped. Looks like he had a little bit space if he followed that lead blocker. That was Ryan Rogers, the leading rusher for this Minuteman offense. Sal Orlando brought the pressure.
Looks like Rogers might have gotten a little bit antsy, saw some green grass in front of him, started running before he actually caught the ball.
Yeah. So now 2nd and 10 after the drop pass. Viera back to loading that line of scrimmage. Veen takes the snap. That's Stanley on the jet sweep and absolutely nowhere to go. All you see is gold hats all over the football, and they go nothing but backwards on the 2nd down play.
And yeah, that Viera defense, give credit to the secondary too, or the linebackers just coming in, swarming out, sniffing out that play right there. Again, that's a big loss of yardage, makes us 3rd down and long here.
And for the OC, Eric Wright, I mean, he doesn't know what to do. He tried to swing it outside on the screen pass. That's a drop pass. Tries to get it outside because they're bringing pressure up the middle in those A and B gaps and tries to get it outside the tackles. But just this Viera defense is relentless. Vignay throws the deep ball. He's got a man, and it's well overthrown. Oh, man, once again you have a man down the field, the intended receiver, Arturo Stanley, and they are going to be forced to punt after they were given a couple of penalties by the Hawks.
And you got to wonder if maybe he felt that Viera pressure creeping down his neck. He felt he had to get the ball out a little earlier. It looked like he had more time than he thought he did, but you got to think that Viera pressure's been getting into his head, forced him to throw it a little bit early.
Yeah, absolutely. With a guy that has over a 65 completion percentage on the season, I mean, just he's missed a couple throws, and a couple of those deep throws have been, I mean, they've been good throws, but not right on target, just a little long. And one heck of a punt. He's got the wind at his back, and that's going to take a good roll, and they're going to down it at the 5-yard line. Wow, what a punt. That's number 55, Jack Matson.
It's a big hey, it's a field position battle, if nothing else. So if you're able to maybe get a stop here or even maybe a safety, something like that, force Viera to punt, can get the ball back with good field position. But again, that's a good play, a good punt from the punter for Cocoa Beach.
And I'd like to correct myself. That was number 99, Frank Viera, not number 55. I don't know where I got that from. So Frank Viera, the junior kicker, just pins them deep inside their own 5. But Viera has proven that they can march down the field anytime they want, scoring 3 out of their 4 possessions.
I will say, if they're able to take this for a touchdown, 95 yards, this would be a back-breaking type of drive.
Yeah, this would put them up 4 possessions and most likely chew. I mean, if they drive how they've been driving, it'll chew pretty much all this third quarter clock up. Nelson takes a snap. He's going to hand it off outside. Cuts back in. Good gain of about 5 yards by Butler.
And that's really the frustrating part for Viera. You know what's coming, but can you stop it? And so far, you haven't been able to for the most part. And that's why Viera's just been having their way tonight on offense.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you know that run is coming, but off that run, they have so many different options that they can go to. That's what makes them so dangerous. And when it comes down to it, they're just going to feed it up the middle and trust their big offensive line to push back the defensive line. 2 backs in the backfield for Nelson. Butler and Woodruff rotate positions. That's going to be Butler on the carry. No, it's not. It's going to be Nelson as he breaks through. Wow, he fooled me completely. As that's how they get you. Nelson gets a nice gain of about 20 yards. Eric Nelson gets a fresh set for the Hawks.
And I did a better job covering on that one because I kind of just, stuck to the middle. But they've kind of been throwing me for a loop all night. Not really my favorite part of the night.
It looked like Butler had it because he kept on running like he had the football. I mean, that's how you practice, and that's how you really sell something, to get those safeties to jump over to that side of the field and frees up space for Nelson. So they all the way backed up at their own 5, now get it at their own 35-yard line. Again, Woodruff in motion. Nelson keeps it. Now he's going to pitch it to Woodruff. Woodruff gets about 7 yards. Back to that triple option read that they're so successful at. And looks like we have an injured player. Hopefully he's okay, as he's helped up by his teammate. Looks to be all right.
And in a sport so dominated by the offense and the big play, I got to say, Viera's a fun brand of football to watch on offense,
Yeah.
especially with that triple option. But like we saw in that second touchdown pass, or that second touchdown that was a pass,
Yeah.
it really opens up the deep shot like that. And when Viera scores passing touchdowns, they tend to do it in highlight fashion.
Yeah, and that was Sean Hartman on the receiving touchdown, and it was a deep ball. And there was nobody around a 5-yard radius around Hartman, just ran in for a touchdown, walked in. 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard gain. It's going to be a run. There's Nelson as he explodes into Minutemen territory.
And you're really seeing, I really do feel like you're seeing the fatigue start to set in after just relentless rushing after run in the first half. It really wears down a defense, and you can clearly see it right now with these huge runs for upwards of 20 yards.
Yeah, and that's Nelson with another 20-plus yard run. Just sneaking out of that backfield through the middle of the defense. Nelson this time just gives it up. Not after a 4-yard gain from Butler. That was Derek Schmadicke on the carry.
And like you said, they're dangerous because of their options. Butler, Schmadicke, Nelson, all three of them can run the ball effectively. All three of them have the big play capability, and that's just what makes them such a tough team to defend.
Yeah, and with a, you read their scouting report and you see, they're a run-heavy offense. But, like we talked about, the big plays are not – they're there for Viera all the time, it seems to be. 20-plus yard plays, already 3 on this drive.
Almost feels like you're playing Madden to an extent.
Yeah. Nelson takes the snap. Now he's got Woodruff on the flat, decides to throw it the other direction. He's going to get a first down. That pass is complete to number 17, Slade Pulliam. And looks like we're going to get an official timeout. At this official timeout, I'd like to thank some of our sponsors here this evening. One of them being Back pain slowing you down. Total Spine and Orthopedics helps people get back on their feet faster and with less pain. They're minimally invasive treatments, smaller incisions, quicker recovery, and better results than traditional surgery, whether it's spinal injections, radio frequency ablation, or advanced minimal invasive spine surgery. Their specialists use cutting-edge technology to find and fix the exact cause of your pain. Don't wait. Call 321-499-4646 or visit TotalSpineOrtho.com today. Their information at the bottom of your screen. You can always scan that QR code. Takes you right to the website. Quick pass outside as he turns upfield. He's going to get down to about the 12-yard line. So he is going to pick up a first down.
And that little screen pass they've seldom run it because the running games work so well. But, again, just another play in their bag of tricks that just has no answer from Cocoa Beach.
And they are hurting it up, staying in the empty. They like the look that Cocoa Beach is giving them. Trips to the top of your screen. Nelson fakes the pass. He's got a man over the middle of the field. Caught! And he's in for a touchdown. What a play by Nelson. The receiver that time, number 11, Gabe Freeman. And looks like we have a penalty. And it's going to be a holding. I was going to say he did have a lot of time in that pocket. Bound to get a holding penalty when you got upwards of 5 seconds to throw the football.
And that's a shame. I was about to drop a nice little reference about the Viera passing offense. So we'll have to wait until their next passing touchdown. But you're right. He did have a little more time than he should have.
So a guy maybe that Cocoa Beach didn't scout for, Gabe Freeman. Got open on the touchdown, but instead of a touchdown, it's a 10-yard penalty now, 1st and 20. And Viera really did like that trips formation at the top of your screen. They decide to go away from it here. Nelson changing the play. And we get another whistle. And now a whistle from the other official. So another false start. That's another 5 yards.
And yeah, if you're Viera, this is, in all honesty, probably the first drive that I've seen them actively shoot themselves in the foot. Obviously, the first 3 of those 4 were touchdown drives, and then the one where they got stopped, they had good field position, but it was, give credit to Cocoa Beach's defense. They stepped up to the plate completely. This is the first drive where I've kind of seen them just be their own worst enemy.
So it was called a delay of game, not a false start. And they're going to say Viera got a timeout off before the delay game was enforced. So Viera burns a timeout to keep it 1st and 20 instead of 1st and 25.
It's kind of a luxury you have when you have a 3-score lead. You can burn a timeout like that.
Yep. 4:17 remaining here in the third quarter. Viera's just dominating time of possession throughout this whole ball game so far. And again, just kind of taking a little bit to take the snap. I'm not sure what's going on. Whistle finally blows. Butler the back in the backfield. Nelson, little screen pass the other direction, and it's tipped. That's number 44, Mikey Butler, and he's definitely been an impact player for this Cocoa Beach defense so far in this ball game.
It's like the 3rd or 4th time we've called his name tonight. Every time Cocoa Beach has a good defensive drive, it seems as though he is the one stepping up to the plate for the most.
Couple tackles for loss. That time stops a big play from happening. It looks like Gabe Freeman was the intended receiver, had plenty of space to work with blockers in front. 2nd and 20 after the incomplete pass by Nelson. We'll see if they just stick it on the ground here. Just trust your running game.
I mean, why not? You're getting 15 to 20 yards per rush in this second half.
Butler remains the back in the backfield. And that's Butler. He's going to take it, lowers his shoulder. Good stand up. And it stops them to about 3 yards there. Cocoa Beach bending, not breaking. One of the men on that tackle, number 25, Charlie Grissom. And it's going to bring up a huge 3rd down in this ball game. With this wind, they're not going to be able to attempt a field goal from here. It seems like it's coming at their face if they were to kick a field goal in this direction.
Well, for sure it's coming at our face, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of a little bit of a tough field goal from here, especially given that wind. So looking probably 4-down territory here for your Viera.
Nelson takes a snap. Here's that trick play, and now they add an implement where there's a receiver downfield, but he falls. Oh, my goodness. Sean Hartman delivered a beauty, but the receiver just tripped up on his own feet, and he had a touchdown all day long.
That really stinks if you're Viera, because that was going to be the exclamation point on this one. You know, get a little fun trick play in here, get a highlight reel play.
And how about Coach Gula? I mean, you score on that play to pretty much end the half, and then you add an implement of a passing. Sean Hartman throwing a ball for the end zone. I mean, gutsy play call. It was there. It was open. Now they're going to try to attempt a field goal.
And again, it's perks of being up 3 scores midway through the 3rd. You can take this type of risk.
This is going to be a 36-yard field goal. Takes a snap. Field goal is no good, not even close. So the missed field goal, I mean, that one wasn't really close. Barely got over that goal line marker. Half price concession. And you know how I know I'm beachside? It's not this beachside breeze that I'm getting. It's the Long Doggers concession stand out front. I mean, you can't beat that, especially when it's half off.
Of course not.
3:02 remains here, and Cocoa Beach's defense stands tall, forcing a missed field goal. So they are still alive in this ball game. Veen takes the snap, once again facing pressure, and he loses the football. He just gives it away. And the Hawks force yet again another turnover.
And I mentioned it after the first interception, but every time Viera gets a turnover, at least that I've been covering, it's always some sort of crazy play like that. It looked like that was a fumble mixed with an interception.
Yeah, it did.
Wow, that was nuts.
Maybe just trying to tuck it, and the defender hit his hand, and it bounced right into the hands of Blake Thomas.
I was about to say, Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he came from behind, punched it out, and then boom, receiver right there, or excuse me, defender right there.
Blake Thomas there to scoop that one up and once again force another turnover. I believe it was number 48, Jason Harp, who we've already called his name a couple times, making the sack, as well as Sal Orlando on the pressure. And this is not something that Cocoa Beach is accustomed to, seeing Veen turn over the ball 3 times in this ball game. Nelson again looking to throw. He's got over the middle all day, and it's wide open. Gabe Freeman, as they go back to him after the play on the previous drive, he was wide open in the end zone, got called back. Gabe Freeman gets his touchdown, and the Hawks extend the lead.
And like the Dos Equis guy said, I don't often throw for the deep shot, but when I do, I make touchdowns. That's kind of what I was trying to say earlier. It feels like
you were holding on to that. That was itching to get out.
I was hoping that one would come out. But, yeah, again, Viera, one-play touchdown that just proves their offense has been so lethal tonight, and it really just the running game opens up that passing game to allow for those deep shots.
And the extra point is up and through. 28-0 as this game is getting a little out of hand here with 2:43 to go here in this third quarter. As one more touchdown and an extra point from the Hawks will push this game to a running clock.
And yeah, Viera wasted absolutely no time on that drive, getting back into the end zone. That's 4 for 6 in terms of scoring on their drives. Very efficient.
Yeah, that's 4 for 6 with 2 fourth-down conversions failed inside opponent's territory.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
they've been a threat to score every single time they've touched the ball.
So you can see the energy kind of coming out of that Cocoa Beach sideline. It's going to be tough to try to get back in this ball game for Veen and along with Coach Kimmy's coaching staff as well, try to keep these players pumped up on the sideline.
And the hardest part when it gets to this late in the game isn't well, it is the score for one thing, but it's also the possessions. Realistically, are you going to get 4 possessions in the next 15 minutes? It's a tall ask.
And that one's a great kick, but it will roll into the end zone, so Cocoa Beach will take over at their own 20. And that was into the wind, so that was a heck of a kick. So maybe that kicker just, he has a leg, that's for sure. That's Maxwell, the kicker. Again, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors here tonight, Chrissy Lindbeck, the real estate expert. She listens, creates a plan, and delivers results, often turning clients into lifelong friends. For more information, call Chrissy at 321-591-3615 or visit online at www.chrissyknows.com. Her information at the bottom of your screen. Veen and the Minuteman, and that one looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's Harp again. That's the sophomore defensive end. He's the tallest guy out there, and he is just wreaking havoc.
And yeah, fingerprints all over this game. It's just been, it feels like we've called the whole Viera defense out by name at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone's been stepping up, and that's just the product of a good team, a well-oiled machine that plays together.
And, we haven't so much shouted out that secondary, but I would like to give them a shout-out because they have contained the deep ball. There was a couple plays where they have 2 plays, 2 deep balls, and they've contained it pretty much, and that was definitely in their scouting report. As here's the deep ball, greatly covered all over it, and you couldn't throw a better ball, just unable to haul it in, and great coverage that time by number 12, Yanni Jean, as we just talked about the secondary there.
I'll even argue that the fact that we haven't shouted them out too much means that they're doing a good job. But
yes.
The best corners don't get a ton of interceptions because no one throws to them.
Correct.
So the reason we haven't been calling them out is because they've been doing their job effectively.
Yeah, and they're really working as a unit, and Coach Gula and the defensive coordinator trusting his guys in man coverage. They're bringing a lot of pressure, and they're keeping Veen off balance, and they're trusting their guys to play man coverage out there. Veen's looking right to it on the slant route this time and through the hands of the intended receiver. And that's Kajay Robinson and another Gene all over it. And I don't know if there was a penalty. I don't see any yellow on the field. Did you see any flags?
I was looking for one because I honestly thought the defender might have. Well, it looks like they're marching it down.
Yeah, it does.
I thought it was gave him a little bit of a hug near the
So it's going to be a
Indiana.
15-yard penalty, so that means it was pass interference against Gene.
Can't say I disagree with that one. I think we might have gotten it right on that.
Yeah, that's a depends on the ref call, I think. It was pretty good coverage, especially for a high school at the high school level. But right in front of the ref, they're most likely going to call that. And the run gashes through the middle, not even touched, for about burst of 13 yards.
Hate to be Captain Obvious, but that's easily their best rush of the night. And starting to get a little bit of momentum here on the offensive side. Let's see if they can cash in on some points here in the third.
On the carry that time was Tristan Sejek. So first time he's rushing the football tonight. Yeah, that's red shirt. Sejek takes the carry and gets about 2 yards this time. So now 2nd and 8, Hart on the tackle for the Hawks. And now sticking to the run game, the holes are open. I don't think maybe that's because Viera's dropping back and maybe playing a little bit of coverage here, but looks like it was pretty open there. As another run, that's Sejek, and Sejek bounces outside, and another good run from the Minuteman offense. Gets close to that first down marker. Going to be a yard or two short.
And even if you're right about Viera playing a little softer on their coverage, who cares? You got to take the wins when you can get them. If you're Cocoa Beach, you got to stack some sort of positive momentum, get some positive film for next week.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'm sure that's how they would wish they started this game, with a little bit more balance in their offense and not trying to mask that blitz a little bit, because they have not been able to stop the blitz when Vignier drops, or when Veen drops back to pass. And they get Viera to jump off sides again, and that causes another first down. We saw this earlier in the game, and Cocoa Beach was unable to capitalize, but a fresh set for the Minutemen.
We'll give credit to Viera's defense. I mean, that's one of the first penalties their first offsides penalty, or it's offsides penalty we've seen since that first quarter. They pretty much ironed that out, as opposed to that
absolutely. Play. 1st and 10 now after the 5-yard offsides penalty. They might just stick with that run game. 12 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. See if they can get a snap off. Veen takes a snap. He's going to look to throw the deep ball. Hit as he thrown, and the receiver didn't even see the football, and Veen took a hit. Who do you think made the hit there, Brian?
I'm not going to lie. I was focused on the receiver down at the other end.
It was Harp once again. Yes. Harp all over the place. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. And we will be right back with fourth quarter action. Hawks 28, Minutemen 0. Right back for fourth quarter action. Cocoa Beach, 2nd and 10 as they flip sides of the field. Down 4 possessions to the Viera Hawks. Veen, quick pass, and it's caught, and he's free. That's Stanley, one man to beat. He does not. Brought down at the 5-yard line, but there it is. The run game sets up the pass over the middle of the field. And on the reception that time, Arturo Stanley. And on the touchdown saving tackle was James Olson there.
Yeah, he almost had a play to add to the – I mean, he still does have a play to add to the highlight reel, but he was almost gone on that one.
But, I mean, it's just that running game. It opens up so many things for Veen to hit, and he hits Stanley right on his back shoulder, turning him upfield. Veen looks for the slant route, and it's well defended. What a play. That's Yanni Jean, the sophomore corner. I mean, that was a collegiate level play right there. I mean, that was perfect coverage.
Yeah, it looked like he had him dead to rights on the first touchdown, but give credit again to that Viera secondary.
Yeah, you're right. He had him beat inside, and he was able to bounce back and reach that arm over there without interfering with the receiver, the most important thing there.
That's such a tough thing to do, and, give credit to him for on that one.
2nd and goal. Still man press coverage out there at the top of your screen. Veen takes the snap, hands it off, and he's going to walk in for the first touchdown of the game for the Minuteman, Tristan Sejak. And now we're starting to see some fire. Hopefully, the saying, a little too late. We don't know yet, but it does seem that way.
Hey, crazier things have happened in football. Just need a couple turnovers, a couple scores. Still a whole quarter to go, but definitely a good sign of positive momentum if you're Cocoa Beach.
And that is Tristan Sejak's first rushing touchdown of the season for the junior. Viera out to attempt the extra point. To cut this lead to 21. Snap good, whistle blows. The kick was good. We'll see what the flag is, assuming there's a flag. And I'm guessing there's no flag. We didn't get a signal, and the special teams units are heading off the field. So 28-7. What'd you say, Brian? You can't take. Go ahead, you say it. That's your quote.
Yeah. The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, one drive at a time, one stop at a time, one score at a time. They got their first score. Let's see if they can get a stop. Turnover. Definitely need a turnover here, quickly.
Definitely need to force a turnover. And for Viera, I know they were throwing the ball on their last drive, but you just gotta put this ball on the ground and end this football game.
Yep, it's your specialty. That last drive was where you could play around with the pass. You can get a little bit fancy with it. Now, with the way you've been running the football, that's what's going to make it so hard for Cocoa Beach to get back in this one, is because they're going to flip to the run game, and it's been working so well for them. But if they're able to maybe punch it out, force a turnover, could be looking at some new life from the Minutemen.
Maybe an onside kick attempt here from Viera. We'll see. But you also don't want to give Viera such great field position. We'll see what they decide to do. Viera is playing at the 20-yard line, the returner, so maybe expecting a little squib onside kick. And that's what it is. They're going to let it roll. That went 10 yards. And the Cocoa Beach Minuteman has shifted the momentum in this football game. What a kick by Frank Viera. That's pretty incredible right there.
Got the score, got the quote-unquote stop, and now they got the ball back. 11 minutes left. Again, stranger things have happened, but you're seeing it trend in the right direction if you're Cocoa Beach.
You can't draw up a better onside kick than that.
Absolutely
that was
not.
Perfect. He downed it right at that 9.5, 10-yard mark right there. As we have a player down for the Hawks. Hopefully he's okay. During this injury timeout, I'd like to thank another one of our sponsors, Dean Stewart Photography. Dean Stewart Photography has been serving Central Florida families for over 30 years. Their outstanding photography, quality products, and friendly service is what sets them apart from the rest. At DSP, they strive to provide individualized attention to everyone they photograph, whether it is your child's first school picture or graduation from high school or putting on a sports uniform. DSP will be there to capture every memory along the way. For more information, call 321-952-9876 or visit www.dsp-photo.com. Their information will be rotating on the bottom of your screen. Another one of our sponsors back, Total Spine and Orthopedics. Their information at the bottom of your screen. And Chrissy Lindbeck, the real estate expert. For more information, call Chrissy at 321-591-3615 or visit online at www.chrissyknows.com because as a real estate expert, she does know. Just a couple of our great sponsors along with Orange Pest Control. Their information rotating all along this football game. Let's see if we can get an update on that Holy Trinity game here. And Holy Trinity is trailing 35-10. So kind of a similar game here that we have. And if you have any scores around the county, let us know. And also, while we have this stop in time, I want to give a look to my good buddy Caleb. We're popping up that QR code. That is the GoFundMe for Caleb Brown's Road to Recovery. And it is a long road to recovery. I mean, multiple broken bones, multiple surgeries he has to endure, and it's between an 8 and 12-month recovery they're giving him. And I just hope he gets back and healthy as soon as possible. And you know, we're all praying for him here in Brevard County, so if you want to send your support, the GoFundMe is a great way to do that. If not, just send your prayers to Caleb. And Caleb, buddy, I know you're watching, and we all love you here at Brevard Sports Network, and you know, you really taught me everything I know about the production and along with the play-by-play side of things. So thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, and I only had the privilege of working with him once or twice, but he was just such a genuine guy, helping me learn the ropes, answering all of my questions I had, and honestly, he has a genuine passion for this, so my heart aches for him. Again, been keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, Caleb. We miss you out here, but we know you'll come back stronger than ever.
Absolutely, and he is at Sea Pines, so if you have his number, give him a text, and if he's free to visit, he loves visitors, so a couple of his videos are posted on our Facebook and YouTube, so go check those out. Get an update from Caleb as hopefully that Hawks player is okay as he's helped off the field. I didn't get a number on who went down, but hopefully he's okay. And quite a turn of events we've had here to start the fourth quarter. Quick touchdown from the Minutemen, and then an onside kick. And there's 11 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. And 11-11, Cocoa Beach's number there.
And yeah, if you're Cocoa Beach, obviously pace everything with pace. Try and score this as fast as possible because, again, you know Viera, if you're not able to recover the onside kick, Viera's going to run the ball down your throat, and at that point, that can take a lot of time off the clock. Got to be efficient here. Got to play with pace.
And you can't. Cocoa Beach is used to playing with pace. They're accustomed to throwing the football and getting those deep balls. As you see, the coverage is definitely at a 5-yard deficit. Quick pass outside, a little curl route, able to miss the first defender, pushed out of bounds, not after a gain of about 6 yards.
And we've seen flashes tonight of how prolific that Cocoa Beach offense can be. They can get the ball down the field in a hurry. With those deep shots, they're just going to have to execute them at a prolific rate here if they want to come back.
And that was Robinson on the reception, and you see Viera playing softer coverage, so Cocoa Beach taking advantage of the 5-yard cushion they have. Veen's going to hand it off. That's Cejek, and Cejek nowhere to go. Sal Orlando in on the tackle, along with Brian Veal in number 99. Dylan Price, another team leader in sacks and tackles for loss. And, you know, you said pace, and I know there's still 10 minutes to go, but you are down 3 scores. I'd maybe not like to see a huddle. I know they have a no-huddle offense installed.
Yeah, you got to act like your hair is on fire here because it is. You got to score 3 times in 10 minutes.
3rd and 3, and they hand it off, and nowhere to go. Viera's front seven once again making a statement. Able to stop up Jaden Hassan in the backfield. And James Olson, one of the men on the tackle, the leading tackler by about 15 tackles on this Hawks defense. And excuse me, that was number 6. Sejek on the carry. So he lost 2 yards, and now it brings up a 4th and 5 and what was a 4th and 3. And they try to get Viera again. They don't bite this time. Looks like you have man coverage out here on the outside. No deep safety. One-on-one at the bottom of your screen. Let's see if they go to that, and they might get a delayed game. No. So they burn a timeout, and that hurts.
100%.
After the clock was ticking for so long as well.
Yeah, that's just a lose-lose. Yeah, you lose a ton of time, and you lose a timeout, and there's just no benefit, or there's no positive out of that situation.
And we saw Stanley motion a couple times, and maybe just a miscommunication between coaches and players, but that one definitely hurts. Now 2 timeouts left. Fourth and 5. Coach Kimmy and his offensive coordinator, Eric Wright, trying to draw up a perfect play here on 4th and 5. They need it if they want to keep this game alive. And for the Hawks, if they stand tall here, this will pretty much put the icing on this cake. Oh! And the wide receiver jumped on this side, and also the defensive line jumped. So we'll see what the penalty is. It's probably going to be a false start.
Been saying it all night, but shooting yourself in the foot.
And it is going to be a false. Wow, so another 5 yards. That hurts for the Minuteman. And we haven't been getting a lot of signals from that white. We have gotten no signals from the Whitecap. We're kind of guessing. So instead of a 4th and 3, or instead of a 4th and 3, it became a 4th and 5, and now a 4th and 10. Veen takes the snap. He's going to look at that first down marker. Incomplete. Out of the reach of the intended receiver, Stanley, once again. And if he put that ball on the money, that was a first down.
And this is in no way to discredit the Viera defense. They balled out tonight. But there are some of these drives you can tell where Cocoa Beach has been their own biggest enemy, not the Viera defense. It doesn't help when Viera's flying around all over the field, though.
Yeah, like we've said it plenty of times, especially early in this game. This is a team you can't afford to make mental mistakes against, and they have made plenty of mental mistakes in this ball game. As now Nelson leads out the Hawks on his own 47-yard line, hands it off. That's Butler, and Butler rumbles forward. Excuse me, that's Derek Schmadeke.
That's probably what we can expect to see for the majority of the remainder of this game, considering how effectively Viera's been running the ball and also how they've just been wearing down the Cocoa Beach defense.
And Viera really wants to finish this game with an exclamation mark because they have a tough last 4 games on their schedule. We'll get to it after this play. 2nd and 1. Nelson, that's Schmadeke. Schmadeke has some space, and he keeps on rumbling. It's going to take 4, maybe 5 or 7 to take him down. He actually doesn't go down. The whistle just blows, and that is a big kid. And can you guess what grade Derek Schmadeke's in?
I'll guess he's a junior.
He's a freshman.
Wow. See that? Yeah. I mean, that's the future right there. He looks like a boy amongst
Kid's
men.
a freshman. Wow.
Or sorry, he looks like a man amongst boys.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
That's a big dude. And I remember we did Viera versus Deltona. Me and Ron Lighthall did, and his dad was telling us that Mike Allstott, he likes to be compared to Mike Allstott, the former Tampa Bay Bucks running back. He sure does look like it and run like it. Gets another 8 yards there. And, to talk about Viera's schedule, next week they have maybe the biggest game of the season against Osceola. Osceola defeated Melbourne 2 weeks ago, 18-10. So I believe, if I'm correct, if Osceola wins that ball game, they win the district. And if Viera wins this game, the district's still up in the air until the second to last week of the season where they play the Melbourne Bulldogs at home. Those are huge upcoming games for these Hawks. Nelson drops back to pass. He's going to take it himself. He has a free lane to the end zone. He's heading towards the pylon. Touchdown, Viera Hawks. Eric Nelson hurts him on the legs, and they tack on to their lead, 34-7.
And that was probably about the 10-yard rush on the stat sheet, but he ran about 30 on that one. He ran from the left hash all the way to the right hash to the end zone.
And what vision? I mean, I know he's a quarterback, so you got to have a little vision, but when it comes to the ground game, a lot of guys, you can't see that type of vision, just absolutely turning the field, and it was wide open. Would have went, if he was at the 30, he would have scored. Extra point attempt by Maxwell. Snap is good. Kick is up and through the uprights. 35-7. The Hawks just don't give up. They just weren't able to cover the onside kick. Cocoa Beach recovers the onside kick. You think, oh, Cocoa Beach has all the momentum in the world. No, defense stands tall, and the offense drives down the field in 3 minutes and puts another 7 on the board.
And, yeah, just tip your cap. It's been Viera's night, both offense and defense. They've made a thorough statement here. As, again, they prepare for their biggest game of the season. So why not add more positive tape? Why not add some more momentum here? Add some more juice heading into the biggest matchup you have all season.
And in that matchup, they will travel to Osceola. And then they have Seabreeze, Melbourne at home, and Merritt Island at home. So a tough last 3 or 4 games. Maxwell set to kick it away. Cocoa Beach needs to probably return this kick if they still want to have life. Good kick. It's going to be returnable. Trying to hit the outside, and he's not going to be able to outrun the defender. Pushed out right about the 35-yard line. Decent return there from the Minutemen. And I told you earlier in the broadcast that we'd get into why the Minutemen are called the.
I was actually just about to say that, yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
So go ahead. No,
I was just about to set you up for that.
Oh, okay.
We need to go back to that.
So the Minutemen are called the Minutemen. I looked this up. Chat GPT'd it right before I came in here just to make sure why they were called that because I was a little confused. So the Minutemen were soldiers in the American Revolution, and the reason that the soldiers were called Minutemen is because in less than a minute they were prepared to go to battle. So they were waiting in their housing, and if those bells rang or they got the signal, in less than a minute they were ready to go to battle. And that's a pretty cool. As Veen looks down the field, throwing the deep ball, jump ball, tries to one-handed, not able to haul it in. Great coverage by the defensive back, Dimitri Jean. But that's a cool tidbit of information. When you see the Minutemen, you're like, what? What is that? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But that's a pretty good mascot to have, I think.
And, yeah, that's funny because I was just about to cue you in on that, set you up for that. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, we were on the same page there. 2nd and 10 for Veen and the Minutemen. And I called the Cocoa Beach JV team last night, and I was wondering if they were called the Minute Boys. I didn't get a for sure answer, but hands it off, maybe gets a yard, 3rd and 9.
Now, I don't know if ChatGPT told you, but does that minute account for them, like, just, like, you know, they wake up in the middle of the night. Does that account for their little, like, sleepiness?
Yes.
It accounts for that?
They have, that was part of their, like, I don't know if there was a lot of qualifications back then, but that was part of their duty was to be ready in less than a minute.
I'd say, like,
and the American Revolutionary War.
Might take me 10 seconds to kind of, just like wake up for a second at first. So that's 1/6 of the time burned right there.
Yeah, so if you see their logo, it looks like the Patriots logo. It's because they're soldiers. 3rd and 8. Veen takes the snap, has pressure. What's new? Rolls right, and he's brought down for once again. Another sack from the Viera Hawks. And that time, I mean, this kid is on another level. Number 48, Jason Harp. His 3rd sack of this ball game.
Yeah, like you say, we've just been calling his name all night. He's been living in that backfield, setting up camp back there. And yeah, just tip your cap. He's been making it a rough night for Cocoa Beach.
So now about 5 minutes to go. It's 4th and 20. I mean, they're gonna punt.
I feel like that's only so you don't
Yeah.
get the score run up on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a punt there, but they are gonna punt it, and that's a good punt. I mean, their punter has a heck of a leg. I mean, that's Viera. I mean, he might be one of their best players. I mean, he is one of their best players, I should say.
Kind of reminds me of the Raiders. Unfortunately, our punter's one of our best players. Our punter's like one of the only guys.
AJ Cole, right?
Yeah, he's one of the
Look at
only
that.
guys who ever goes to the Pro Bowl for us.
Ball knowledge.
Exactly.
Hey, you got Max Crosby though.
That's true.
He's an All-Pro.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Viera with a good punt puts Viera inside the 45-yard line. And with 4:53 remaining, Cocoa Beach, 2 timeouts remaining. And the fact that they punted there, I don't think they're going to be taking their timeouts.
I would agree with that.
That just tells me I don't want to say calling it in, but a punt, I know it was 4th and 20, so it's definitely up for debate. But me personally, that's just kind of calling it in.
It does feel like the white flag was waved. And I also do think that they didn't want to give Viera a short field. You are playing for pride at this point. You don't want to get the score run up on you. You don't want the running clock to start if you can help it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Viera is going to take a timeout. So it took a while to get that play in. They didn't want to get a delayed game. 35-7 is the score, and the score tells all stories. I mean, just pure domination from both sides of the football for the Hawks, and just a lot of mistakes for the Minutemen. And looking ahead for the Cocoa Beach Minutemen, they are in a freelance district, according to Max Preps. They have Holy Trinity, at Foundation Academy, and at Bayside. So all 3 away games to finish the season for Cocoa Beach. And that's Schmadeke. Schmadeke switches hands, bounces outside. As he's going to be brought down, but not after he gains 20 yards. There is a flag right at the line of scrimmage, probably going to be a holding.
And even though it's a holding, I feel like he's got to be their most fun rusher to watch. When
Yeah.
he gets into space, it's hard to take him down.
Yeah, I mean, his dad told us one of his favorite players is Mike Allstott, and it really looks like Mike Allstott. Like if you go on YouTube and look up Mike Allstott highlights, he's got the same build as Derek Schmadeke. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
And yeah, again, like I said, man amongst boys, he's a hard player to take down.
So 1st and 20 after the 10-yard holding penalty.
I feel like if anything, that pull right there was ball knowledge.
Yeah, that is a throwback.
Yes, I haven't heard.
Nelson in the gun. Schmadeke lined up behind him. Nelson fakes the handoff. He's going to throw a deep ball. They're not afraid to tack it on. He throws a pick. And I don't understand that play call there, but they give the ball to the Minuteman, and a nice adjustment by the DB there to make the interception. That's just Eric Nelson's 3rd interception on the season. And that looked like it was number 88. Lawson Goldbly. I don't know. You never really see 88 out there on the corner, so that's why I'm questioning my read there on the number.
And yeah, like we said just a couple minutes ago, if not right now, you're playing for pride. So you get a nice little feather in your cap for the defense, get a nice little play on film, and you get one more chance as an offense to maybe put up a touchdown here before this game is over.
And that was number 80, Legend Cataldo. So I was right in the 80s, just that 0 got folded up, made it look like an 8. But Legend Cataldo.
I still don't feel like you see 80 for a cornerback.
Yeah,
either,
no, that's still funky. So the run gets about 2 yards, and under 4 minutes to go. I mean, I'd say just air that thing out and let your guys. I mean, we've seen them; they have great hands. The receivers, just let them go up one-on-one and catch the football.
Yeah, they 100% have the potential for the highlight play. We've seen it 3 or 4 times tonight. So yeah, might as well just air it out. If he gets picked, oh well, this game's all but over.
First down run gets 4, 2nd and 6 for Veen and the Minuteman. And another handoff goes nowhere but backwards. Coming up from the bottom of that pile, number 58, Amos Francia.
I mean, you would like to see them air it out here on third down, wouldn't you? Like, really, there's no reason not
I would like to see it aired on 1st and 2nd down.
I tend to agree with you on that one, not going to lie.
So, I mean, if you don't throw here, I mean, that's just a questionable decision. I'm no head coach, though. I mean, they obviously know a lot more football than me, so I'm not gonna play, booth head coach as the screen pass, and that's a ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage. I know it was a screen pass, but you get 2 yards there, now 4th and 5.
I think the term is armchair head coach, but
Armchair head coach,
we're not really in armchairs.
I was looking for it, and I just stumbled, so I just I left it alone there. Armchair head coach, that's right.
I feel like that one might not be as applicable given our booth situation, but this principle still.
Yes. Booth head coach. We're not playing head coach from the booth up here. 4th and 5. Veen drops back, and now he's going to finally air it out, and that coverage is sticky all over the intended receiver. Once again, Gene on the coverage. Yanni Gene, the intended receiver that time, number 3, Arturo Stanley. And another turnover on downs forced by this Viera defense, who has been nothing but dominant. And now with under 2 minutes remaining, you expect a couple knees to ice this ball game.
Honestly, it's hard. I hate to be a downer, but you gotta. If you're Cocoa Beach, you gotta find the positives. There's not a ton in this game, but I think
their kicker.
That's just it. The kicker was a positive. He was able to flip field position pretty well from them. I won't lie.
He's
but
a junior.
You got to look at some of their big plays. If they were able to string them together on a couple drives as opposed to scattering them out throughout the game, who knows what the score could have been.
That's right.
Probably still wins, but you got to look at that deep shot, and you got to look at the connections that the receiver and quarterback were getting.
Yeah, that's a great point to look at it in the positive direction of things if you're Cocoa Beach. I mean, those plays are there. You know that Veen can get it done with his arm. As Schmadeke brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Rogers on the tackle for loss there for Cocoa Beach. And back to that positive point, I mean, just they've had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, so those are things that you can fix. The interception was a great play by Brown over the middle of the field, the middle linebacker.
I would say I even think the second interception was also a great play. It was just a great play by the defender. That fumble in the middle, though, kind of a bit of a questionable one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of lost control of it. And we have a new quarterback in the game for Viera as he's going to take after Eric Nelson. That time, it was Sean Hartman. So maybe running that little wildcat option with Hartman. I'm surprised we're not seeing the subs in for Viera. They have a lot of guys on that sideline. I know they can work them in.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, probably might have worked them in on that last drive even, too.
And this, with under 40 seconds, this pretty much does it. I mean, they could probably knee it, but they're probably going to get a first down and then just head to the sidelines. Hartman takes the snap, gives it to Schmadeke, and what a guy to pick up 2 or 3 yards for you as he easily collects the first down. And 20 seconds in ticking, that'll pretty much do it, and it will. The Viera Hawks take the victory 35-7 over the Cocoa Beach Minuteman. And it wasn't, the score is definitely out of hand. This game could have been a lot closer, as we just said. Just a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of mental errors from Cocoa Beach and things that they can fix. And Brian, any last thoughts on this ball game?
Yeah, like you said, the scoreboard might not tell the whole story, but at the end of the day, it's all that really matters. Give credit to Viera. They played a near flawless ball game. As for Cocoa Beach, back to the drawing board. But Viera's got to be feeling good heading into their toughest stretch of the season, coming off a big win here.
And back to Viera. They got Osceola, Seabreeze, Melbourne, Merritt Island. Tough stretch of games. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, Total Spine and Orthopedics, Chrissy Lindbeck, Dean Stewart Photography, and a couple other sponsors, Orange Pest Control and Robertson's Pavers. Thank you all for joining us here this evening